Well, good morning, Jennings.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Scorpio. Too bad. Too bad.
What's that?
Well, ordinarily, I would be extending season's greetings, but so far it has not been a very Merry Christmas in this house, I'm afraid.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it. Perhaps Santa will yet stop off before the year's out.
Oh, I thought I heard your voice.
Hey, sweetheart. You ready for a spot of Q&A?
I dread it. What if the district attorney doesn't believe me?
Well, really, all you've got to do is convince him that you weren't part of Herbert's little plot.
But what if I can't do it?
You have to. Prison is no place to spend Christmas.
Here we are gathered once again to witness the brilliance of the Port Charles police.
It's bad enough that we're poor again. Why put us through another interrogation?
Oh, poor Quentin. He's all alone now.
I feel sorry for him.
No, don't waste any sympathy on him. That man's father died twice, and poor Quentin never shed a single tear. Oh, hail, hail, the gang's all here.
Why, Donnelly?
Because the district attorney said that everybody involved with the case had to be here, and he did work for Herbert, or have you forgotten that?
I couldn't forget anything Donnelly's done.
Monica, Alan.
Hello, Sean.
Edward.
Stella, might I get one little smile from one of the members of the Quartermaine family?
Of course, dear boy.
It's very brave of you, Lila. I'm sorry for all the...
Unpleasantness. Yes, such a pity. Tell me, Sean, what happens next?
The DA is going to ask some questions.
Can you do me a bit of a favor?
Anything.
Well, Autumn's pretty upset.
Well, I don't blame her.
Well, I was wondering if maybe you could convey some of that sparkling encouragement of yours.
I'll give it my best shot.
Thank you. Well, good morning, all. May I have a brief word with you?
Sure.
Oh, but Robert, you will come back, won't you?
Oh, Lila, you can depend on us.
Lila seems to think this is a party.
Yes, but you and I both know different. Now, the DA, he's going to be a lot tougher than Lewis ever was.
Can you blame him? Look at the number of crimes committed in this household. I'm no lawyer, Robert, but I can count the same way he can. We've got conspiracy to defraud people. We've got false statements to the police. We have intended murders, and we have false reporting of deaths.
Yes, and they won't stop there either.
Well, this guy is thinking he's going to get the runaround, so he's going to be out for blood.
I just hope it's not going to be Autumn's.
Robert?
Sean Donnelly, he's been working on the case with me.
How do you do?
Nice to meet you. Is everyone here?
I believe several can move in. The young lady over there is Alicia Jones. She's one of my associates. Anna Devane, my partner, will be here later on, and I'm hoping Jake Meyer, depending on whether we can get a continuance on this case he's working on.
We can get started then. I really appreciate the help you've given us. We're that much closer to Herbert Quartermaine's murderer. I won't be satisfied, though, until I nail his accomplices.
Good morning. Morning,
Guy.
Robert. Oh, Miss Lombardi. Good to see you. Glad you got me before me.
They seem very pleased with themselves.
Well, I sure hope there's a good reason for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Thank you. I just got back from the airport where I picked up a surprise witness.
Check out the reactions.
Right.
Sam, bring the witness, please.
I wonder who that could be. I can't imagine.
My God.
Lord.
Dottie?
Can't be. She's dead.
Don't say anything. Don't say a word.
Sit down, Doctor. We don't need any more trouble than we already have. You get a chance to say what's on your mind.
I have nothing to say to you, and neither has she.
Ladies and gentlemen, the district attorney has very kindly allowed me the dubious honor of addressing you yet again. Yes, I can see how delighted you all are. Anyway, before we get into this, I'd like to point out one thing, that I intend to get to the truth here, and I'm not going to settle for anything less. And I'm sure the DA won't either. Before we leave here today, we're going to go through all the events that happened in this house prior to Herbert's murder. And we're going to establish who was responsible for what. Why don't we start with you? I mean, it's not very often we get a chance to talk to someone who's risen from the dead. Why don't you have a seat and tell us all about your journey to the far side? And I warn you, stick to the truth, because I know most of the facts anyway.
He's only bluffing, Dottie. He doesn't know anything.
Don't you believe it? I mean, look, just own up. This whole thing was your idea anyway, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, come on, don't be so modest. I mean, it was very clever. I mean, not many people get a chance to engineer their own death and then come to life again with a pocket full of cash on the beaches of Rio, huh?
But I didn't do that. That's a lie.
I told you not to say anything. He's only trying to upset you.
Dorothy, why don't you level with Robert? That way he'll stop badgering you. Now, if you don't, there just isn't going to be any Brazilian nightlife for you anymore. You're going to spend your days and nights looking at the inside of a prison. And instead of sandy beaches, you'll spend the rest of your life sitting in a solitary jail cell. You know what a solitary jail cell is like?
Stop it. That isn't the way.
What happened when you first died?
Yes, Dorothy, be kind to yourself. Just tell him.
It was all Herbert's idea. It was like a game.
Prepare to die.
We met under the clock, Herbert, Dr. Wallace, and I.
Don't worry, Doctor.
We were very quiet. We didn't want to wake anyone. Dr. Wallace was very nervous. Herbert was so bright and gay, like a little boy. He even brought a bottle of ketchup. He wanted to make it look real. He smeared it on my robe so it would look like blood. We laughed. He had 2 murder weapons. One was fake, of course. The other one was the one he intended to hide. It was getting late, so we knew what we had to do. Herbert had given us all directions beforehand. They put me in my place behind the clock. Wallace left, and then Herbert arranged the chimes. I stayed behind the clock until I heard the clock chime. Then I slid out. I heard Stella call.
No, I didn't do anything. I don't know what they were doing. Well, I didn't even hear them. I just heard the clock chime. I just came down for a glass of warm milk. I wasn't any part of their plan.
Well, you were, but you just weren't aware of it. Herbert actually had a starring role for you. You were going to find the
I
body.
couldn't sleep. How many times did that clock chime?
I don't know.
What time is it anyway?
Well, my watch says 1 o'clock.
Let's see what it says.
Dottie! Dottie!
I believe you can recall what happened next.
We came in and saw the body.
Which neither you nor Monica examined.
Excuse me. No, I wasn't even here. I was in the Biscayne Islands.
Okay. Do you recall who was present there?
There was Quentin and Betsy and Herbert and Autumn.
Uh-huh. Then what happened?
Well, Dr. Wallace said she was dead.
Then?
I called the police.
Why don't you tell us what happened next?
Oh, I will. Everybody left except Wallace and Herbert. Herbert waited until he was sure they'd all gone back to their rooms, and then he tiptoed back to me, and I rose from the dead.
All right, now to the secret room.
He was so pleased. He was sure we'd fooled them. Dr. Wallace had agreed. Herbert struck him on the head and knocked him unconscious. Then he took my hand, and we went off to the secret room.
Now we must steal the body.
That's how he made you all think afterwards when you came back downstairs that someone had stolen my body.
It's very good, Dorothy.
Look, you see, the truth always comes out. That's why you should never be afraid of it.